Hi, Doctor. I'm glad to be on the call with you. I wanted to get together with you to determine if your clinic would be a good fit for my method to bring in more patients and revenue to your practice. So I'll explain how the call will work best for you. First, I'll ask you some questions uh, to help me understand more about your practice and how you run it. And by the end of the call, one of three things will happen. First, you will possibly decide that this whole thing is not good for you, and you'll just simply tell me you're not interested. And I'm perfectly fine with that, because if it's not something you're interested in, then it's not a good fit. The second thing that could happen is I determine that the way things are done in your practice just will not work with my method for bringing in the patients and revenue. The third thing that can happen is that you decide that you feel comfortable with it, and I determine that it will work well for you, what I do. And then we'll talk more about how I can help you. But I need you to give me a word that you will not tell me that you need to think about it, or you need to get somebody else's approval, or that you, for whatever reason, want to put off being either all the way in or all the way out of working together with me. That will be a nice waste of my time, and my time is very valuable to me. So it just will not work if you tell me that. So I need you to give me a word that by the end of the call, you're either all the way in or all the way out. No postponing, no wasting my time. So can I get your word that you will tell me that you're either all the way in or all the way out? Can I please have your word on that, Doctor? Good. Okay, one other thing. I need you to be as open with me as you can about your motivations and how your practice is run, because that way I'll be most able to determine if I can help you and how well I can help you. If you hold anything back or sugarcoat anything, then I simply won't be able to determine how well I can help you, or if I can even help you at all. So please be open with me. How do you feel about all that, Doctor? Good. Okay, let's move on. Here are some reverse questions that I can sprinkle in, as they seem to be most effective. That's not so important, is it, Doctor? I'm thinking it's not too urgent. What do you think? Doesn't sound so bad to me. How does it sound like to you? That situation that you described to me, well, what's wrong with that? You don't need to fix that right now, do you? You can put that off for a few months, can't you? Um, don't want to start that too soon, do you? You know, maybe start it in a few months, maybe 6 or 12 months. I think things will be getting better, won't they? Uh, Somehow they're going to work out, won't they? You have somebody to help you with that, I'm sure, don't you? You aren't interested in this now, are you? What would you like to do? I'm getting the feeling that you're not very excited about starting this today. What would you like to do next? Okay, that's a good question, but I don't know how to adequately answer that so that you are truly confident. I need to prove it to you by actually doing it for you first. And this is a team effort. It's your team and me working together. And so to answer it with words, I want to give you a resounding yes, but then before I can do that, I need a resounding yes to my questions. There's three of them. Number one, how do I know that your team will call each of these prospects within 3 to 5 minutes? Number two, what guarantee do I have that you will set up a reminder system that's optimized? And the third one is, how do I know, what guarantee do I have that your team will competently upsell these patients when they're in your chair? You see, here's the thing. I am investing my time, my effort, and my money to prove to you that this works well. If I don't come through, all you have to do is say goodbye. If you don't come through, I lose out on my time, my effort, and my money. And that certainly is not something that I want. So I want to make sure this is going to be exceptionally successful for you. In order to do that, I need to find out more about your operation. So let me ask you this. Okay, charging. You know what? That is the same as if somebody came up to you and said, how much do you charge for plastic surgery? My guess is you would not answer that directly. Uh, a good doctor, which I understand that you are from your reviews, is a person who will want to get to know that patient first. What is it that they want, and will your procedures actually do it for them? And if your procedure is perfect, well done, and they come out gorgeous, that doesn't mean that they are going to be emotionally satisfied with the results. You would want to get a feel for that before you start getting them on board as a patient. And that's something that I need to know about you. What are your motivations? How are you feeling about your business, etc.? And what is it that you really need done? And can my method for doing these things actually work for you? So I need to determine if this is a good fit before we talk about the money and the process. Okay? So let me ask you this. All right. So the answer to your question is I get great results. And I get great results in part because I bring on only extremely qualified uh, clinics that their operation fits well into my method for doing things. So in order to determine whether or not your operation fits in with mine, so that you get an immediate profit from what we do, I need to ask you some questions. Then we can talk the mechanics uh, as we go forward. Okay? So here's what I need to ask you now. Okay, so you need references. How many do you need? 3. Okay. And what about testimonials? What do you need there, if anything? 3 there. Good. And do you need any case studies? 2. All right. So now let's say I provide all of that for you. You listen to people, you read about things, you feel real good about what you see and hear. What happens next? Okay, I need to be clear on what does that mean, there's no money. I will be delivering these patients to you. You will have the opportunity, and I assume you're going to succeed in upselling them. That's an immediate profit to you, and it's going to get only better because they will come back for more procedures and they will bring more referrals to you. So why would you not do everything you can to move this forward? When you say that you don't have the money, do you really have no ability to get the money? Or is it that you do not have confidence in your team to call the individuals when they set up when they take up on the offer? Or do you not have confidence that they will set up the optimized reminder system? Or that they will not competently upsell people when they're in your chair? All right. You, at the beginning of this conversation, doctor, you clearly gave me your word that you would not ask that. So I'm wondering, is there really something else that's causing your reluctance? Because if you're not a person of your word, you don't need to talk to anybody else because this won't work for me. So I have to know that I can rely on your word throughout our entire relationship. So please, before we get off the phone, please clarify that for me. Okay. So if you're on the street, can you pull off to the side or into a parking lot or down a side street? All right, we can finish this right away if you can do that. All right, you're on the freeway. So I'm going to send you right now the agreement. And what I want to know is, are you going back to your office now or your house or where? To the office. So when you get back to the office, the agreement will be there, and then you can sign it and get it back to me today, right? By what time? 5 o'clock. Okay. What I'm going to do is read the agreement to you right now, because when you get back to your office, everybody's going to want to approach you about this or that. And if you found it to be taking you too long to go over the agreement, you're never going to get it done by 5 o'clock. So I'm going to read the agreement to you now in plain English, and you will then take only about a minute when you get back to the office to quickly look at it and sign it and send it off to me. Okay? So you will get it back to me by 5. Is that correct? Or before? Good. Now, I'll read it to you right now. Okay. When you say it sounds too good to be true, I'm going to be proven to you that it's good and very true right away. So what I'm really wondering is, are you saying to me that it sounds too good to be true to solve your revenue flow? What if you say no today? And then in a few weeks, you find out that because you said no, I'm now working with another surgeon in your area and it's working extremely well for them. How are you going to feel? How are you going to feel about the too good to be true thought stopping you from going ahead today? Okay, doctor, what uh, what challenges are you facing now? What is your greatest challenge? What is your top priority? Business results. What are you pursuing? And how is that going? What have you done to make that happen? And what could be holding you back some in that area? Do you have plans to expand? What are they? Can you give me some numbers? You know, precise if you can. What is it in that area? What does the numbers look like? And when you expand, what do you expect to happen? What number are you looking for? What have you done to accomplish this? And what could be holding you back somewhat? What motivates you to work so hard? I noticed that you're advertising on Facebook. How's that working out for you? What were you expecting? What results were you looking for? And be more precise. What exactly were the results? I notice you're not advertising on Facebook. Why not? Have you ever advertised anyplace else? What were the results? What were you expecting to happen? Uh, what motivated you to set this appointment today? What are your greatest strengths? Greatest weakness? Your competitors. In what way could they be or are they surpassing you? What are you hoping to get today from our conversation? And ideally, if we do work together, ideally, what is it that you would like to have? Have you ever had any problems getting a flow of patients or revenue into your practice? And how did you work through that? What about now? How is all that working out for you? What are you looking to do with your practice now? If I help you bring in a substantial increase in your patients and revenue, do you have a budget already set aside for that? How much? And what would you do with the revenue, the extra revenue? And have you ever had a solution that you needed to do for the business and you didn't have the money in the budget? How did you resolve that? Doctor, how soon do you need to see results? What will happen if you don't see those improvements soon? Well, doctor, do you have any partners in your business? Who are they? So you're the sole decision maker. Does that mean you make the decisions for everything? Your advertising, your finances, your website, the whole practice? Good.